30. It hasn't even been 30 seconds and it's already frozen. Now, what is the deal? Hold on, guys. The video is like... Hold on 1 second. I gotta make sure that the video's right. That was crazy. I don't know what happened. That's always happening. Actually, it doesn't always happen, but it happens enough to where I can notice. There you are, darling. Okay. Really clear it out, right? Hello, darling. So, Aries, this is your April 2019 birthday reading. We can call it that. It's your birthday month. Shuffling the cards. How is it going? How is that full moon in Libra? You're gonna get another one, right? So it's talking about like what's being initiated. It's a critical degree of 0. So it really is just talking about new beginnings, right? The introduction to a new process, right? Of relationships beginning to form, right? You have even cleared away some relationships, definitely, with some people. Maybe your relationships may not be the same. Maybe some of your relationships have been enhanced in different ways with people that you've always known, but now you just kind of know them in a deeper way, possibly. Maybe you're getting rid of some people. Maybe some people have just decided to fall away. All right, now I'm going to cut the cards for you. Then we'll really get to see what it's talking about. It took me all day to get these readings started. So I'm going to go back into my ascendant spread here for you all. It's been a while. It's been about a month since I've done the ascendant spread because I was on the cause and effect for March. Okay. So at the bottom of the deck, you got the Lovers. So this is Mercury energy. This is, just really feeling good about a give and take in a relationship or within, a partnership. I got dragged with the energy a little bit. It was healing. This is a good energy to heal with too. The Lovers is Mercury. It really is talking about communications. It's talking about processes too of understanding and ways to make things better, ways to share things within an experience. It's also talking about acknowledging one another for what you really, respect each other for, or for what you really get out of a relationship purely. This is kind of like playfulness, it's happiness, it's also just kind of like a sense of welcoming as well. This is kind of like you being a little bit more, compassionate towards people. Mercury is in Pisces right now, still retrograde, which is your 12th house. So there's something that's going on with Mercury right now, that's going to probably bring a little bit more harmony into your life once you uncover what it is that's coming towards you. Right? This is Mercury. This is a fast-moving planet. So this talks about travel. This talks about something getting nearer to you, right? Becoming nearer to someone, becoming closer to someone. Just maybe just, really talking about things that make you, you know, understand each other a little bit more, right? It's kind of like getting into someone's psyche or getting into someone's head and exploring that. trying to get a sense of who they are, trying to get a sense of who they think that you are. It's a lot of thinking, it's a lot of processes, it's a lot of just questions as well, inquisitions, really just being interested in knowing someone a little bit better. That's what I'm getting. Also, I'm getting like, sometimes with the Lovers card representing Mercury, it's like, you know, the lovers, it's kind of like the status quo relationship, right? It's like a man and a woman in this card, and they kind of, there's the yin and the yang. There's a sense of balance there too. you know Mercury is the god of love, right? And then Venus is the goddess of love. So this definitely has a little bit to do with both of those planets right now, as Venus was the ruler of the full moon that just happened in the house of relationships, right? Venus rules love too. And Mercury is retrograde in a sign that is talking about unconditional love. So I think that what we're dealing with here in terms of you, Aries, is maybe we need to see the softer side of you, or maybe you need to just approach a situation with a sense of the lovers, right? With a soft touch, right? Rather than a harsh grab. That type of thing. Really allow yourself to see where someone else's point of view might be bringing, that where they might be coming from with their point of view and their perspective. The lovers is Gemini Mercury energy, so it's a younger energy. This also could have to do with like the day-to-day routine as well. How disciplined are you in being able to generate this sense of compassion and understanding every day, with every interaction that you have with someone, not just when you feel like you want to be that way. You have to always be willing to show someone that they are safe around you. You need to let somebody know that they are safe around you. Be committed to that, right? Let them know. Be aware of what it is going to take for you to get them to see that you're on their team as well. Um, the sixth house is Virgo, and that talks about, being consistent, right? There's a level of consistency here that is needed from you or from another person in regards to a situation that you guys might be dealing with together. You have a Pisces you're trying to marry. Okay, this is the lovers here. Okay, for sure. And this could just, right? And if you have a Pisces that you're trying to marry, then there might be some communication things that need to be like cleared up or squared away. Maybe there just needs to be more talks about like where you guys see each other going in the future, or where you see each other going in your futures as individuals, and see if it lines up. You know what I mean? Because this is mutable energy, so it's talking about the willingness to adapt to a situation based on the commitment that you feel like you are focused on. Yeah. Because there's a level of respect that you want to bring to the commitment. So that's why you're willing to put in some of the work, and you're willing to be interested so that you can actually get more uh be reassured that this is going to have more of a positive outcome than not. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for a positive outcome, that's for sure. Right? And in the center of the reading, you have the Seven of Pentacles. That's Saturn and Taurus. So this is saying that you might be feeling restricted in the way, in the way that a situation might be developing. Right? What you're able to see with your own eyes, what's being substantiated, the growth in a process. Yes, because the sevens are talking about also the seventh house, and that's Libra, and that's relationships, and that's contracts, and that's bonds, and that's just like, you probably don't feel like a situation is fair because you don't feel like you're getting your just due, or you feel like you're putting a lot of effort into a situation, but you don't feel like you're seeing the payoff, or you don't feel like you're seeing a level of respect for you that can be understood, or that you know it's talking about making a choice, a conscious choice, and a conscious effort to really commit yourself to something that you can see through, that will bring you abundance in the end, that will bring you a sense of satisfaction. It will bring you a sense of security, because what you're seeing here and what you're kind of like focused on is the victory of the situation. It's almost like you want to get there right now. You don't want to have to wait for what it is that it's going to provide for you later, even if it's going to be sweeter. It's almost kind of like you feel like just because you have been working hard that you should get instant justification, right? You want that instant gratification, but it's not about that. It's saying that you need to just keep moving forward confidently and know that whatever it is that you're producing is going to be even better than you anticipated it was going to be, at first. Yeah, because this also has to do with, the seventh month out of the year, which is July, and that's ruled by Cancer. So it's saying that you might be being a little bit over emotional about money, or the way that you see a financial situation might not be panning out the way you want it to. You might be trying to secure something that you feel like you've been focused on for a long period of time. And it definitely might have to do with a shift in a paradigm for you. You know what I mean? The movement forward, the victory that you feel like you're getting closer and closer towards is actually going to give you more and more strength, right? It's going to intensify as this shift occurs more and more, and then you're going to be able to see like where it's really going, right? And then you'll be able to put more value in the experience, because then you'll be able to commit yourself in a different way, because you're starting to understand the principle behind what's happening and what it's meant to manifest for you in the end, really. Okay? It's talking about balance too, because it's a seven. It's related to the seventh house. That's Libra. Be fair to yourself. All of the work that you put into something, you don't want to give up at the last minute. All the time that you put into it, you know what I mean? It's like, don't get discouraged just because you know that it's been hard. It's been hard for everybody. It's going to be hard for everybody, right? It's going to continue to be hard for everybody. Sorry, I just need to adjust this because I feel like it was on some weird angle. Um, Yes, be fair to yourself. You definitely need that, because you have been working hard. You have been doing stuff, but then you also don't want to take out your frustrations on other people, Aries, because that's something that you possibly could do, right? Because this Lover's card is saying that people are here for you. You know what I mean? No one's trying to make the situation any rougher than it already has been. Everyone's trying to put their 2 cents in to try to really get it to where it needs to be, because this is the Lovers. It's Mercury. It's talking about the sixth house energy. It's the thoughts coming into form to manifest something, right? That you can appreciate, something that's being substantiated, something of substance. Okay, let's see what your immediate influence is. Crossing that, it's the death card. So there's an ending that's taking place. There's a transformation. Like I said, there's a paradigm shift that's happening. So the way that you saw yourself before, you know what I mean? You started this, or the way that you saw yourself maybe like 7 years ago, is completely different than the way you see yourself now. There have been so many developments that have taken place for you in your life. So many things that you've been able to, invest in, make, create. People have come in, people have gone out. You know what I mean? There have been some scars that you may have had to deal with, some things some resentment, right? Some past pain, some fears. There's some things that you even fear, right? And that's why you are so anxious to get this thing kind of pushed through, because something is kind of like making you feel a little bit threatened, right? Because that this death card, this Scorpio energy is talking about, the ability to see how you can acquire growth through creating something new, right? Or there's a sense of expansion through creating something new, right? And it's the ability to see that this, just like the sun shines on everything, death and transformation also throws a cloak over everything at some point in time. So this is not just talking about you or people dying, it's talking about situations dying, contracts dying, right? Because it's the death card over a seven, right? Which is Saturn, right? That's karma. That's a contract. That's like a divine contract, that karma. And then, it's a seven, so it's talking about you feeling tied to something, you feeling obligated to something, definitely. And then it's like you feel obligated to it, and you really want to see it succeed now because you feel obligated, you feel tied to it, you feel like you've married yourself to this focus, or to this purpose, right? And it is talking about, just the need to really see everything for what it really is, so you can maintain your truths about the situation, right? Why it is that you're constant, why it is that you're staying consistent within this, or why it is that you choose to be sort of like in the middle of the whole thing. But this death card is Scorpio energy, and it talks about shared resources, right? Scorpio definitely does. So this could be a change in the way that you see yourself sharing resources with some people. Um, there might be a reworking out of a deal or an agreement of some sorts. One person might have one healthier end of the deal, because Saturn is talking about somebody having an advantage based on their experience, right? And they could be slowing down a process, or they could be speeding a process up. Whatever it is, they definitely have an influence onto the process, because the seventh house does also talk about influence as well. How are you influenced? What's the reaction? What's your reaction? Are you being overreactive? Right? Because Aries is the action and Libra is the reaction. So right now you have a reactive card in your as your present energy, right? So you're reacting to the feeling and feeling restricted, to being restricted, and time restricting you, right? And you feeling like, you want to put an end to something. You're feeling like something needs to end, right? Go ahead and end. That's what you want. You want to start fresh. You want to move forward so that you feel like you're going in a new direction, right? Let's look at what's going on in your sun placement. Page of Cups. You could be dealing with a Pisces, Aries, right? This is seven, 12th house energy for you, right? It could be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, right? And Mercury is retrograde right now in your 12th house. And this Page of Cups energy is very that. It's also ruled by Saturn, so they're saying that you have a lot to learn. You're in a phase of learning, right? You're in a phase of figuring some things out about, how, your emotions might be changing. You know what I mean? You definitely are being shown, some parts about yourself that you may have not been willing to look at recently. It might have something to do with, children, siblings, family stuff. Um, the Page of Cups is also somebody that's kind of like well taken care of, but they're a little bit complacent. It might be like somebody feeling lonely, they don't have any friends, or maybe feeling like they don't have anybody that understands what it is that they're going through. You know what I mean? Because the Pages kind of have it a little bit rough, just because they have Saturn who rules them. So they have a lot of things that are expected of them. So you might be feeling like you have a lot of expectations that people might be placing on you. So it's making you feel a little bit melancholy, and it's making you feel a little bit heavier, weighed down yourself. You know what I mean? And this is just saying that, you kind of want things to change, because the Page of Cups is talking about phases coming in and changing. But this is kind of like, that melancholy feeling of like, I wish things were different, or I wish things would change, or can we get this over with? Because, the Page of Cups is talking about wanting a situation to end, and it's talking about wanting to try to like go ahead and push something so that it finishes itself off, right? It's the fulfillment. You're looking for emotional fulfillment, but it's like you almost don't know what it is that's going to fulfill you emotionally. The Page of Cups doesn't really necessarily know yet. It doesn't even know what it has to offer yet to a certain, this is you to yourself. You are feeling like you don't know what you have to offer to yourself, right? You might have a lot of options, but it's kind of like, oh, I know, it's very emotional. You know what I mean? It's emotional when you feel like you're dealing with so many things on your own, but then you have to also be there for other people to help them deal with what it is that they're going through. But the Page of Cups really does need someone too. and the fish is there. It's just like, the page is looking past the fish in the cup, because it really is trying to understand something about itself first before it can relate to the fish in the cup. So, right, this is saying that you really do need to take care of parts of yourself first, right? You do, within this whole process of wanting to move forward, wanting to have some things in, wanting to really find a sense of harmony within a situation. You're a little bit complacent right now because you don't see a way out of how it's going to get better for you. There are going to have to be some choices that are going to have to be made. You're going to be tested in some places emotionally, because the pages are always going to be tested. Saturn is always there to test them. You know what I mean? It's always there to make sure that they are, uh, you know, keeping their mindset on what it is that they started out on anyway. You know what I mean? Let's look at your emotions. Right, it's a Six of Swords, so it really is talking about the commitment to moving forward on something, right? It's also like the awareness, because the six is Mercury, and that's the awareness of the mind. In your mind, you know that you're going to have to move on to something, better, or something different. You know that things have to change. This card is Mercury, an immutable planet in Aquarius, in a fixed sign. So, Aquarius is talking about, there are certain levels of respect that one has to give oneself, right? That's something that's never going to change. You're going to have to respect yourself, but you're also going to have to respect other people. You know what I mean? And if you know that, in terms of, if you know that for you to be good and for other people to be good around you, you have to separate yourself or distance yourself from a situation that might involve other people who might be younger than you or might be youthful, that type of thing. It's a scenario that someone is kind of like trying to help you see your way out of a situation that was that had a lot of trepidation around it. You know what I mean? There could have been some sadness and some pain, right? There's some psychological influences here, right? Somebody could have been trying to manipulate psychologically, right? That type of thing. It's a six, so it's kind of like your daily life is changing, right? You're moving away from something that was a little bit more consistent for you, or something that was more routine for you is no longer going to be that routine. It's not going to be the same. Definitely with this Six of Swords here and the emotions and the immediate influence being the Death card. The Death card is a fixed energy, and then the Six of Swords is also fixed energy as well. It's Aquarius, and then there's Scorpio. So, for you, Aries, uh, Scorpio is your eighth house, so that's talking about, dealing with those things that may have been affecting you from the past. It's those things that come up in your relationships that it's those things that come up in your relationships that are actually, echoes from your past. So then other people bring that out of you, and you bring that out of other people. So and that's even in, in your family. When you were family members, you guys bring things out of people, out of each other. So it's like you having to deal with that type of situation. And then moving on from that, changing your perspective, allowing yourself to see that, you can always adapt to change, especially if it's meant for the best. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's look at what's going on for you in the past right here. Okay, in the past, you're making some decisions and some choices about what to do, right? It's kind of like what you used to do and what you're going to do moving forward, right? It's almost kind of like you want to bring a level of respect and a level of dignity to whatever it is that you're trying to figure out and uncover. And it's like it's going to take you a little bit of time, and you're kind of like, you were going within yourself, right? You were using your intuition to make a decision about what to do, with someone else or with some other people. This could be, you may be choosing to do something, partner up with somebody in terms of like this Seven of Pentacles being here in the center of the reading with the Death card as the immediate influence or the challenge. That could be as a result of this. this Two of Wands. You know what I mean? Making this bold plan of action with someone that you might be sharing an experience with, but then also really trying to like weigh out the options of what to do and how to do it. There's potential here because it's Two Wands, and then there's also some greenery, some growth on the wands, right? And there's blue here. So, you're getting into that crown chakra area, right? It's talking about intuition. It's related to the high priestess. So there's something to be revealed, right? You're going to reveal something to yourself. But it's by way of, just making some bold choices with someone else to try to like determine what it is that you guys need to do to make something happen. Okay, Aries. Um, Let me look at what is going on in your anxieties, and that's going to relate to this moon placement. Okay, work. The anxieties are within a contract of sorts. It could be a relationship, it could be a marriage, or it could just be a contract, right? Something to do with the law. We have such a beautiful family, everything to be grateful for, sick of being in a third party situation. Honey, and that's what the anxieties are talking about. The contract, right? The bond, the tie that you have to someone. It's talking about the truth, acknowledging the truth, right? Because you have the Six of Swords here, which is Mercury in Aquarius. Mercury rules Gemini. This is also Aquarius. And then the anxieties have to do with justice, right? The justification of something. How can you justify something? What is the truth that justifies the decision that is being made? What is the truth that justifies, whether or not fairness is going to be at play here? Are we going to reach a point of harmony that we're going to be satisfied with? Or are we going to have to go back and deliberate some more? This is saying that I really don't want to waste too much time thinking about what it is to do, because I know that I'm going to have to leave ultimately, or I'm going to have to move on, or I'm going to have to change my perspective about what it is that I may have not wanted to adapt to before. You know what I mean? This is kind of moving away from the pettiness. This is moving away from, the misunderstandings, and just not feeling like somebody is on your side. You know what I mean? It's a team effort. I'm getting something is a team effort, and it needs to be played fairly by everyone involved. You know what I mean? So no one should be making any decisions without telling anyone what they're thinking about doing. You know what I mean? um you got the death card and you got the justice card here too. That's Scorpio and that's Libra energy. So there are some things that are fair, there are some things that are unfair, and then there are some control issues here as well. But then someone, it's almost like you don't want anyone to get a raw end of the deal anywhere, right? You don't want someone who feels like they were putting in a lot of effort and time into something to feel like they were getting cheated out of the experience, or you don't want someone to feel like they're just not considered, seriously considered. And this, it's the growth, right? Is you have anxieties about how much you have how big a situation has gotten. It's like you have to acknowledge it. You have enough information to do something about it, right? Because the cardinal signs, especially the justice card here, it's a very active sign. Libra's very active. They respond, they react to things, they make decisions based on information that they are, you know, uh, sifting through. They're weighing it out. It's a scale, it's a calculator. It's like calculations. Don't be, don't be fearful of facing the truth. You know what I mean? You've got to face the truth. The truth may not be what you actually fear. You know what I mean? The truth shouldn't be what you fear. You should fear the lies. What if? And I don't even really see any lies here. You know. And the full moon was in Libra. You know what I mean? There are going to be some anxieties from this first full moon that we had at 0 degrees of Libra, and then there's still going to be some stuff that's going to be worked out in between until we get to that culmination, right? of the full moon in Libra at 29 degrees, which is a critical degree. And 29 is really bringing something to the height before it, it's kind of like learning all of the things. All of the things have happened, right? So you really understand what's going to need to happen within this relationship, within this contract, this bond, this agreement, or whatever partnership it is that's going on here. Let's look at the Mars placement. Okay, the Mars placement has Jupiter and Pisces. So this is kind of like an overwhelming sense of like needing something to complete. Like really wishing that something would kind of like be over and done with. You know what I mean? It's a 9, so it's talking about having an epiphany, right? And maybe this epiphany is going to bring you a sense of of hope, right? So that you might even you're just wishing that this will be over. You know what I mean? um the 9 is related to the hermit energy, so it's saying like you're seeing a situation play out, you've examined it, you've gone through and through. You know what I mean? You're focused on bringing something to completion, um and you're focused on getting what it is that you want, right? You're focused on getting what you need. You're passionate about it, right? You feel like you deserve something. Absolutely. That's what I'm getting because you got in the Mars placement, right? You got 9 of Cups. So you're identifying with a wish. The truth is very important. So yeah, you definitely are wishing for a better day. You definitely are wishing to not be the victim anymore. You don't want to be the victim, and you're not going to play the victim anymore because you've gone in and you've seen that if you play the victim, this person is only going to win. And it isn't even about them winning. It's just about them not taking that power away from you. You know what I mean? Because it's like you've done enough for this person already, because the 9 is about being of service, right? Being of help to someone, right? It's also going in and figuring some things out for yourself instead of being of service to someone else so much. It's like you wanting something so much for other people. Now it's time to want something for you. It's time to want something for yourself. It's time to be of service to you. It's time for you to identify with your own expansion, right? Definitely. Your own self growth, your own fulfillment, your own wishes. What are your wishes? What are your dreams? You know what I mean? But understand what are wishes, understand what it is that actually can be done. You know what I mean? Because we don't want to get into some false scenarios. We don't want to start, coming up with all of the different possibilities, right? Because it's Jupiter in Pisces. So it's kind of like you just kind of like giving way to almost anything, right? So don't do that. Don't accept anything that just comes just because it's something to fill the cup, or something else, something to distract you. You know what I mean, right? Don't get too distracted, because in your Mars placement, you got Jupiter and Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, which is an escapist. So this card could be saying that you might be drinking a little bit more, you might be eating a little bit more, you might be smoking a little bit more, you might be trying to like go out and have fun a little bit more, just to kind of like take your mind off of some of the stuff that you've been going through. Or maybe that's what the reading is saying, that you need to do that. You need to go out, you need to have fun, you need to kind of like take your mind off of the stuff that you've been doing, and just have one night of dinner and drinks or something. Your birthday's coming up, so this being in the Mars position, this is saying do you, boo, for your birthday season. Definitely have your cake. Okay, have yourself a good old time. In the Venus placement, Knight of Rods. Maybe some of y'all need to have some sex out there. I think some of y'all might need to. Aries, you might be dealing with a person that's coming in and, being a little bit forward, maybe intimidating, because this is in the placement of the relationships of Venus, right? And this is Sagittarius energy. Okay? and that's sextile. So there's some passion here, and there's some mojo going on with this Knight of Rods. This is somebody who can be very fiery. You know what I mean? This is double fire, so this is a lot of energy. Um, this could be saying that you might be having like a very passionate interaction with someone that you're in a relationship with, or someone that you might just be very sexually attracted to someone that might come out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Because the Knight of Rods is Sagittarius, and Sagittarians like kind of like come into the picture and then they leave real fast. You know what I mean? So this could be like a one night stand type of situation that hasn't even come in yet. But you know what? Like I said, the Mars placement in this reading has the Nine of Cups there, which is talking about wish fulfillment and the expansion of something, right? You want to get something done. You want to complete a wish. It's almost like you want something to happen for your birthday. That's what I'm getting. And it might involve, playing a game of hide and seek. So I'm saying. Okay, Aries. And it's mutable, so it's being able to adapt to the flow of the changes, or being able to adapt to this person who might be coming in and is they might be actually catching you off guard. You know what I mean? This is someone coming in and catching you off guard, and you having to like be ready for them. You know what I mean? Because they're just kind of like they got you on your toes, and that's good because it's kind of like it's taking you out of this place of feeling complacent, because this is what you're identifying with right now. Aries, right? This feeling of being complacent, but it's your birthday and you need to have fun, right? You need to go out there. You need to stop thinking about all of this stuff that's been kind of like making you feel restricted, making you feel like you've been working so hard and there's nothing that you've been getting out of it. You know what I mean? It's time to put an end to that. It's time to put a stop to that. You need to start restructuring. You need to start looking at what it is that you can build upon, right? Even if there is some things that might be taken away from you, that doesn't mean that everything is going to be taken away from you. You can always restructure. You can always rebuild. You can always make something for yourself because you are. That's your motto. I am, right? Therefore, you are, honey. To be or not to be, that is the question. To be is everything. Not to be is nothing. I love you too. So yeah, this could be somebody just kind of like, giving you a great experience for your birthday season. Let that person take you out. They don't have to expect anything, and neither do you. So now we're going to get into your future cards, right? Let's look at the first future card. Beautiful. All right. So it's saying you're going to be thinking about some past experiences. You're going to be wishing that you could revisit parts of your past. You know what I mean? And it's not like you want to physically revisit that, but it's like looking at when days were better. You know what I mean? And identifying when like you felt better about where you were or your experience. You know what I mean? But just remember this, that place and time that you are thinking of right now is what got you to where you are here. And if you hadn't had that thing or those moments happen to you that you're thinking about right now, ever so nostalgically, then you wouldn't have come to this place of understanding that there was more to life and there was more for you to have out of your experience. You know what I mean? When change comes, that just means that you're living. When things happen and things shift in your life, that just means you need to embrace the changes that come. You know, things weren't always meant to stay the same. You were meant to experience life. You were meant to go through transformations, right? And so were the people around you. So were the people that you used to know. Everyone isn't going to always be the same way that they have been for you in your life. Just like you're not going to be the same person that you were for everybody else, the way that you have always been. It's not meant to be like that. If it was meant to be like that, then we wouldn't be here. Things are always changing. Things are always developing. There's always something to challenge us, something always to be introduced as new. You know what I mean? The past experiences that we have that we, that are sacred to us, right? We definitely hold on to those. They have made you who you are today. This is Sun and Scorpio. So this is you putting energy and putting a lot of focus and passion and heart into like making a situation better, letting go. You know what I mean? Letting go of anything that may have been a setback for you, you know? Don't let your past get in the way of your future. That's what I'm getting. Don't let the past get in the way of your future. You know what I mean? Focus on what it is to share love with people and to love yourself and what it is to create from that love, right? It's also knowing that the people that are in your family are the people that you are always meant to be there for, right? Thick and thin, committed to that, committed to, the structures, the status quo, the way that you're supposed to be with your family. I feel like you guys long to be a certain way. It's almost like you want to reignite a feeling that you used to have that you know can come back, but just hasn't been around for a long time. And that's just what you make it. You know what I mean? It's how do you appreciate your life? How do you add different levels of understanding and creativity to your life? Do you put on the music that you used to listen to? You can revisit those times in your life. You know what I mean? Like when you lived on, I don't know, 14th Street when you were 23 and Jane was your roommate. You know what I mean? Play that music that you used to listen to at that time. That is healing, actually. You know what I mean? Because you're getting back to those parts of yourself that are actually being uncovered, that are kind of like uncomfortable to look at because you're a different person now. You're older. So when you go back and you look at those times and those places, you're like, I don't know how identify with that person anymore, because it's like I've learned so much now. I've transformed so many different ways. I met John and Mike and Sally and Officer Dan. Like, all those people have influenced me to this point over these past 10, 15 years. So it's like you are getting closer. You are stepping into your purpose. You are getting in line with what you're meant to do and what you're meant to do and who you're meant to be. You know what I mean? If you just realize that, you understand that every day is a chance for you to live life. Every day is another chance. So with every day that comes, you adapt to that day. What's going on that day? What does this day need? You know what I mean? Each day is like a newborn baby. Okay, how can I make sure that this baby, lives another day? Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the energy moving forward. King of Rods. So you may be dealing with, this could be you. Wow. Okay. Like I was saying, mirrors, you know what I mean? This Knight of Rods in the Venus placement becomes the King of Rods. So there's some growth happening here with someone. This fiery person is learning a lesson. You know what I mean? Or somebody who was impulsive and just wanted to do what they wanted to do, you know, are going to learn a thing or two. You know, it definitely is kind of like a different person. It's a different person. It's like this is fixed energy, right? So this is something that's like not changing. Excuse me, Aries. I'm sorry. It's kind of late here. It's not that late, but it's kind of late. So this Knight of Rods is going to turn into the King of Rods. So either this person is not going to be as impulsive, they're going to kind of like get it together, in terms of like how they deal with you and how you deal with them. I feel like, either they won't change or they'll become more mature, right? Or it's like they'll become more mature about the way that they deal with you, but they're still going to kind of like be this person that you just really have a difficult time with. You know what I mean? Because the King of Rods is pretty difficult to deal with, very fiery, very set in his ways. Wants what he wants when he wants it, that type of thing. Loud. This could be you, Aries. Your baby daddy. Mm-hmm. Right. Just too much energy, too loud. You need to sit down. Why do I always have to defend myself around you? That type of thing, right? Loud. You so funny. Okay. Let me flip over the card at the top. This is what you're going towards, right? Because this is all right. You got 3 6s here trining. This is amazing. Okay, so there's more harmony. There's more to be considered that is going to be celebrated, embraced. You're moving away from the psychological despair and from all of the things that may have challenged you and made you feel like, what is this about? What is life about? Is this what I'm doing in my life right now? I can't believe that I'm going through some of these situations. And then you think about the past and how it used to be good and that type of thing. And then you're also thinking about the future too, because you can be nostalgic about the past, but then you could be just as hopeful for the future. So I feel like that's what you're giving too. And you got this card right here. Look, 6 of Wands. Hey, Jupiter and Leo, expansions of the heart, growth of the heart, you know, growth of the heart condition, new beginnings of the heart. This is also someone probably saying you do all the work or you do getting everything done. You know what I mean? This is everybody trusting in you, right? And seeing you do the job that they knew that you could do, right? Because it's a 6. So it's people, relying on each other, trusting in each other, offering things to each other, being of sound mind with each other, you know, high levels of consideration here. This is good. You're going through some transformations. You feel you're going through some transformations. It's going to get better in the money sector. It's going to get better in the money sector. You know what I mean? You're gonna get a new job, right? That seventh house. It definitely has to do with confidence in oneself, right? Believing in oneself, the victory that it's going to take. You're gonna have to let go of some of the past hurts and the scorn, right? Just because some things didn't work out for you financially or career wise in the past doesn't mean you have to look forward into the future with a sense of anxiety about, like, life's not fair. It doesn't work out for me. Stop thinking like that. You know what I mean? Everything that you experience wasn't meant to work out for you in the best way possible. I'm sorry. The karma that you have, that you are born with, already says it. You know what I mean? And some of you already know that. Some of you who are intuitive out there, I can't tell you how many times I have you know had a premonition or had like an epiphany about something or had like a vision of something. This used to happen to me when I was little. Okay, 10, 11, 12. And then things will happen like 15 years later, 20 years later. I done flipped over all your cards, but I'm still talking. What's the time? Okay, 47 minutes. I was gonna try to do 45, but this is cute. Maybe I'll go to 50. But yeah, you got some wish fulfillment up in here. Get it done. Do some things that you feel like you've been wanting to do. But if you already have been doing a lot of things, this is saying that you need to just focus on on something that you can be more consistent with that will bring you more happiness and more fulfillment then, because you have actually put in a level of determination, right? You are determined, you are motivated, right? What is motivating you emotionally? You know, is there a gentleman who's motivating your emotions right now that you want to put some energy into? But you might be still dealing with, an impulsive ex that might be looking towards this new person that you might be putting a lot of respect or energy in, or they might just know that you might be involved with somebody, or they may just know that, you don't really want to be bothered with them anymore, that type of thing, right? Or they might be feeling like that and then might want to try to like change up their ways or change the way that they've been doing things or try to be a little bit more respectable or respectful of you, that type of thing. Oh, you sound different when you talk to me today on the phone. Like, why are you sounding different? Because there's a lot of communication going on here. But this is like communication, like getting better. Because you got the lovers, then you got the Six of Wands, and then in the moon position, the moon, which is unstable, you got the Six of Swords. So this is saying that you're going to be getting some mental clarity, right, moving forward, that's going to make you feel less emotionally reactive because of what it is that you don't see developing happening, right? You are dealing with some stuff on your own too. You're dealing with some elements of emotions, right? You look good. Things look good around you. There's elegance around you, right? There's a sort of glamorous aura around you, but deep inside, there's still some things that are left incomplete. You're left feeling incomplete, right? You know what I mean? And we don't know what it is that you just don't have yet that you feel like you want. And you know what that is? That's inside of you. It's not on the external. So stop going here and there and everywhere trying to do and be everything when you really need to look inside of you and see what it is that you have not dealt with. Okay? Communication wise, day to day wise, that's some shit that you think about, that you feel every day, that you do every day, that is still attached to that who you used to be, that you need to clear out. Right? We're all changing. We're all changing. What do you want the next 20 years of your life to consist of? Right? That's the question I'm going to leave you with. And then I'm going to pick a card from the runes deck, because all your cards have been flipped over, Aries. Then I'm going to eat my empanadas that I went and got tonight. Oh, that was a little too choppy for me. We're pulling a runes card for you guys, Aries, for the end of your reading. Oh, and it just fell out just like that. I love it when that happens. Tiwaz. This is kind of like one that I don't normally get a lot. I feel like this is talking about transformation. This is talking about movement forward as well. You just had some empanadas. So let me read this one, because this is a card that I don't normally get that pops out. Some decks really favor certain messages for people because they really are strong for them. There's T-Wise, North Star, Ambition. This rune is connected to our inner strength that, like the North Star, guides us in the seas of existence. The ship braves the storm and the rough waves, yet manages to stay on course. So must we do with the help of moral authority. The card encourages us to develop the inner strength necessary to move forward on our own path. Obstacles are there to be overcome. Hello, didn't we talk about that? The road to success is strenuous, yet going forward, we gain experience and charisma. We just need to avoid becoming too presumptuous. There is always something to be learned in every situation. What would we be capable of just to achieve success? Have our experiences allowed us to grow wiser? Tiwaz bestows a large capacity of endurance, as well as making us charming and charismatic, true leaders within a group. Okay, I read that to you, but in so many words, it was basically the same thing that I was talking about. You know what I mean? The ability to see that movement forward is demanded. Period. Right? You got to move forward. Look at this. It's an arrow rising up, right? Getting up the forward with a T at the end. You got to do it. Brave the storm, honey. When you set sail, you know that you're taking risks. You know that you're embarking upon something that you don't know the outcome. That's bravery. That's bravery. When you go after something, but you don't know what the outcome's going to be, but you still go, it might be crazy, foolish, and risky, but it's still bravery. So this is what I'm gonna call this reading: to be or not to be brave. Aries, you better get out there and you better know what brave means, right? Brave means dealing with this. That's what brave means. You know what I mean? For sure. Face the truth, face the music, face your fears, face reality, face the past, face the future, face now, face to face. All right. It ain't gonna be smooth sailing, but once you get through the storm, it will be. Okay? I love y'all, Aries. Y'all know I'm crazy about you. And also, look at the Libra full moon and Aries season video. It was a street talk video that I did, walking down the street in the East Village. This was what I needed. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. I love you. And I love that your name is Aphrodite. All right, Aries. You better do it. You better live. You're coming out as yourself. You're coming out with your energy. You know what I mean? Your relationships had you feeling all a fluster, right? Having to deal with so many different people and so many different places. Because this is somebody that needs to be in a lot of different places. And they can't spend too much time in one place. So you got different relationships that need to be catered to in different places. So you're running all around. You're getting tired. You're burning yourself out in relationships. Your relationships are burning you out. Okay? I don't see no cards here talking about rest, but I do have one that's talking about recovery, mental recovery, right? You've got to make a declaration, right? And once you make that declaration, that's where you're going to be, right there, making it happen, right? For you, being your best you. I'm living my best life. I'm living my best life. Do, 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 do. He's living his best life. That doesn't mean doing everything that you feel like is the best. You got to be willing to give some things away. That's why people have yard sales. You know what I mean? If you're going to hoard your life's experiences, you're going to hoard them. I want to keep this person, and I want to keep that experience, and I want to keep this one too. Let some of those experiences go so that you can do other stuff that you were meant to do. Stop robbing yourself of your experience. You know what I mean? You are meant to do. You're meant to be other things. You know what I mean? And not just be what you've always been in many different ways. You know what I mean? Be different stuff. The fixed energy that you have here is Scorpio and Aquarius. Scorpio is the most prevalent. The mutable in Leo, you have some Leo here. And Jupiter and Mercury are the mutable planets that you have here. Yeah. You have a lot of Jupiter and Mercury. So, you definitely are adapting to some changes, ebbing and flowing, seeing what works, you know what I mean, trying things on for size. That's That's that mutable energy. I'm gonna try this on for size today. Right? Every day is a different day. See how it fits. Right? Damn. It's like every day you wake up, you went shopping. Bitch, I got a new life. Not a new life, but it's like a new day. You know what I mean? It's like you woke up and it was in your inbox. I knew an Aries that was a busybody but couldn't get anything accomplished, got on my nerves. Well, they are busybodies, you know what I mean? But it's like they are busybodies because they're initiators. They like to get things started. They like to start things. They like to get you involved with them in doing stuff. Do this with me. Boom, boom, boom. And you're like, I don't even want to be doing this. You know what I mean? I don't even want to be doing this. Here. Well, you just hit me in my face. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. Oh, yes, 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 Reiki. I think I might get into that. My friend was telling me that, maybe I could get certified Reiki, maybe first level or something. First level, second level, next level. Because I'm a Pilates teacher, so I'm always like my hands and people's bodies, I'm always trying to get them to feel energy and stuff like that. Um, all right, I'm not going to keep you guys too long. I love y'all, Aries, and I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope you got something out of it. Movement forward, do your thing, step out of the old into the new. I don't care if it's scary. You pull the sails up on that boat, on that ship. You call the crew up to the deck, and you get all hands on. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to like that. You got Tanashi? All hands on deck. Go, go. All in the front, all in the back, just like that, like that. Mm-hmm. All hands on deck. All right, you guys. Now I'm just talking. I'm just talking. I'm gonna let y'all go. Bye. Oh yes. Follow me on Instagram at NYC Kendrick, at Providence Tarot, of course. My food account is at the Tongue Pop. Speaking of tongues being out. Also, I'm going to leave some information in the description box if you guys would like to donate to the channel. I love getting new things, like tarot cards and, just little gadgets for the readings. And I'm thinking about maybe getting something for the wall to project behind me. I don't know. We'll see. I'm very creative. I'm a Libra rising as well. So, I have lots of ideas going up there. I just got to get them out. Can't wait to get them out too, because Libras, they like to wait. Um, yes. Also, I read at Shanti Shanti Bookshop and Crystal Gallery on East 14th Street, between 2nd and 3rd Avenues in New York City on Sunday between 12 and 4. Okay, East 230 East 14th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenues in New York City. Union Square, East Village area. I believe that is it. I will be posting some more videos for the rest of the month. Obviously, I'm going to try to get them out as soon as I can. Happy rest of the retrograde. We only have another week left. Yeah, you guys will be great. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Libras. We love some love. We love some love. We love sugar. We got to be careful with that. Yes, thank God. I know, right? That retrograde is gonna be over. It wasn't so bad. Like my retrograde experience, I was crying for like 2.5 weeks before it really, really went down in retrograde. But once it got there, I had already experienced everything I was experiencing thus far, so I was pretty good. And most of the Pisces that I know, they were all pretty good as well. But there was some tears. We cried, and communication and there might have been some confusion about how to move forward with some things in terms of communication and how we felt about what we needed to communicate and still, you know what I mean? So that's something that we're dealing with, right? Adapting to the change of how we feel day to day and the confusion of that because we have and one of the most unstable planets, Mercury, retrograde, even more unstable than it normally is in Pisces, right? Which is a water sign, which water is already unstable and it's mutable. So it's unstable water. Anyway, child. Have a great weekend, you guys. Bye. Love